Cheesy chick Evollove here, reviewing Cheezy Flick Supervan. The movie's about just what it sounds like, a super van. It came out just months before Smokey and the Bandit. At that time in America, everyone had a CB radio and they knew how to use it, and they drove around in big van convoys across the states. There were butterfly collars and cowboy hats and lots of good old boys. Also, life was much simpler. You could pretty much smoke pot openly. If you finished a beer, you just chuck the cup on the ground. If a waitress walked by and thought she was looking pretty good, you just cop a feel, just grabbed her, and she said, "Oh, stop it." Then she just walked on and continued with her business or her day. This movie is about Clint, who's going to join the Freak Out, which is a van competition. He could win a cash sum of $5,000. On his way to the Freak Out, though, he hears some trouble over no less but the CB radio. And he knows exactly where to go. What she was doing in that junkyard, I'll never know until the next scene where his van gets accidentally crushed by the junker. And, but Clint's a mellow dude, so they just keep on trucking. He grabs the gear knob from his old van so the spirit of it can live on. And they go on to meet his scientist friend who's been designing a solar-powered van named Vandora. And it's quite futuristic, and we know this because every time it drives down the highway, it's accompanied by the noise of woo, the same ones accompanying the spaceships that fly. That sound gets a little bit irritating, but lucky for them, the whole interior of the van is soundproofed. But yeah, so that van is actually designed by real-life car designer George Barris. He makes a cameo in this picture, and he designed everything from the Batmobile to that weird little rickety thing they drove around in Beverly Hillbillies. Another interesting cameo in this film is Charles Bukowski. Yeah, you heard it right, Charles Bukowski. He plays a judge for the wet t-shirt contest, and he's actually wearing a shirt, up to his belly. I'd say he'd make a rather good judge in this film. And it's kind of funny because it's like one of the only films that he actually appears in. One of the things that confused me about the film was never really quite seems to get to the freak out, but I think after I watched it, I realized the freak out just means sort of like a 1970s type party that goes on for many days with vans and making out, running from the man, that sort of stuff. But it's never an actual event. It's just like a series of events. So don't wait for that scene because it never happens. Another cool part about this movie is Uncle Leo is in this movie, and it's Uncle Leo from Seinfeld. His name is Len Lesser, and that's worth it alone. It's in his early days. I couldn't recognize him at first, but I was like, oh yes, and that's him. And so that makes this movie fantastic. Now I'll get back to doing what I do best, which is a little bit of drinking and a lot of movie watching.